Salut tout le monde, je suis toujours au lac de Monteynard, à la folie au lac. Et juste derrière moi, c'est SUIVRE de AppleTree, et donc des planches fabriquées au Portugal. Une marque hollandaise qui fabrique de très belles planches en full carbone. Vous pouvez retrouver d'ailleurs la vidéo test sur la chaîne YouTube de Foil Magazine. Il va nous présenter donc en anglais, j'essaierai de faire des sous-titres plus tard, mais en attendant, je vais vous faire réviser votre anglais et le mien pour la même occasion. Et il nous explique tout sur la gamme très large de planches AppleTree. C'est parti. Okay, Vigor, I'm happy to be here with you to Lac of Monteynard. Can you speak about your products, about your brands AppleTree, please?
Sure thing, sure thing. Welcome, welcome here. We have our stand here on the beautiful lakeside of Monteynard. The wind is it's up and down a little bit, but people are on the water, so we are already happy. And at least it's not raining, so
it's not raining.
Super nice to be here because it was So tell you a little bit about our brand. We are AppleTree Surfboards. We are originally from the Netherlands. We also started in the Netherlands. We used to produce our boards there. Nowadays we have our own production facility in Portugal, from where we produce all the boards.
Sorry, I have just a question for French people and everybody. For me it's important to explain, it's not your factory is in Portugal, but it's not the same factory about Takun.
No,
right?
It's completely different factory. So we always wanted to have our own production facility. We also produce for other brands. We make boards for Levitas, for Reed & Kites, and for a few more brands, but not for Takun. So it's completely a different factory.
Okay, thank you. Because sorry, I cut you.
No, that's not a problem.
For me, it's important for people to know that.
No, we are we have a completely different way of working and a completely different way of building our company. We have a much bigger team, much bigger research area, and also a much more advanced construction. So the nice thing about our boards is that you can get our stock boards, but you can also order anything custom. So if you give us a call, we can discuss, make them your own color, but sometimes we can also change things in the shape or change things in the size as you wish. So at the moment, we have for general foiling and winging, we have 3 models. 2 have been out for quite some time already. That's the Jazz for freestyle riders. Yeah, you want to go and see? So here we have the Jazz model. The Jazz model is really good for, in bigger sizes, it's really good for more beginner riders because it's nice and wide and stable. In smaller sizes, like this 50-liter one, it's a really nice freestyle board. So you can really hit it hard, and it lands super softly, so it's really nice and stable platform to land on. For the more all-round riders, we usually sell most of these, which is the Slice V2. The Slice V2 is a very nice all-round board, much narrower than the Jazz, so a bit more compact. Really good for wave riding and general free ride riding, like here on the lake. And then we have a new model in our range, which is over here, which is called the Skipper. The Skipper is completely new for this year, and it actually runs all the way from a really small board like here, which is the Skipper Short, all the way through the Skipper Prone, which is for surffoiling, the Skipper Wing, which is obviously for winging, and then finally the Skipper Downwind, which is for downwind foiling. So the general concept of the Skipper is, hence the name, it's a board that's supposed to skip back up from the surface. So we designed the whole hole in the bottom of the board so it releases super nicely from the water surface. So if you hit the water, you skip back up. You need this in all disciplines. That's why we put this board into all disciplines. So this smaller one is really good for dog starting and for kite foiling. We make this in 2 sizes, 3.4 and 3.10. And then for the surffoil, you can see it's almost a similar kind of shape, just thicker with more volume. So in this case, actually a really small one. This is only 29 liters, but it feels and it pedals like a much bigger board. Even with my 95 kilos, I can surffoil on this board. You have to pedal hard, but it's a really efficient shape. The water really flows off the shape. And then in the wing, so this is a 50-liter wing Skipper. You can see the same kind of bottom, but again it's a bit thicker and it's a bit more refined for the specifics of that sport. Put them all together, you can really see the lineup. We now have, which is a good thing to note, we also have our own AppleTree tracks right now, which we also produced ourselves. They are especially for our construction. They work really well with our construction, and they're 5 centimeters longer than the standard tracks, so you have more room to move. And with the skippers, all the tracks are already forward on the board, because it's really the trend right now with the more high aspect foils to have your tracks more forward on the board. We're super stoked on our new tracks. We have a new mounting system. We have literally zero track issues anymore. If you do manage to break one of the tracks, which no one has done yet, but if you do, we'll give you a new board straight away, because they are so strong. They're really well in there.
Okay, and now the downwind.
Now this one, of course, like the latest trend in any foiling sport is the downwind foiling. So we came up with the skipper in the downwind version. If I turn it around, you can really see that it's the same concept of the other 3 boards. So it's a similar kind of rounded entry with this sort of lower bit here, which is actually a hull, so it splits the water. It's really efficient through the water. This one is actually a wide version. We make a wide and a narrow version. The wider version is slightly easier to ride, but actually when you want a downwind SUP, you want something that's extremely fast through the water. So the narrow boards are actually considerably faster than the wide boards, but the wide boards are much easier to ride.
And you have different size?
Yeah, we have different sizes. We start at about 80 liters for the smallest one, and at the moment we go up to 130 liters for the wide and 120 liters for the narrow. But we're still, so that's our stock sizes, but we are still playing a lot with the size range, mainly because the sport is so new and it's developing so fast, and everywhere people do the sport, we get feedback from riders that some want a wider board, which is a bit more sort of squeezed in because they have a really short period chop on the lake, for instance. But the guys in Hawaii who are doing like the longer runs between the islands, they're riding big open ocean swell, and they actually prefer a narrower, longer version. And right now we are experimenting with boards as narrow as like 19 inches on almost an 8-foot board. So it's crazy narrow. It's actually super hard to ride, but there's a lot of guys already good enough to ride that type of board. For general riding, I do advise to go for like the more normal sizes and even the wide versions, because they are really nice and stable. An extra big plus of these boards is that they actually double as a really good low wind wingboard. So like here, when the wind is really low, the longer, narrower shape just gets up to speed easier, and it gets you up to foil easier. It's something you have to get used to. It's a bit strange when you're on the board, that you're on such a long board when you're used to these shorter ones. But once you get it, you get so much speed and you go onto foil much easier. So good light wind option, also good option for places, also maybe like here or other lakes where the wind can drop all of a sudden and you really have to go back. If you're on a 50 liter, you know, you're gonna struggle. This you can always get home, which is an important one for us as well.
Okay, and where we can find all boards?
So all the boards are can find on our website, AppleTreeSurfboards.com. All the information is there. You can also always call us or send us an email, and we will reply privately within 24 hours and give you a personal advice.
Okay. Thanks a lot for,
Thanks you guys.
For everything. Merci, encore merci. Et puis n'hésitez pas à aller voir sur YouTube le test de la planche AppleTree que j'ai, qui est ma planche perso. Et puis retrouver toutes les informations du foil sur Foil Magazine et les autres vidéos ici au lac de Monteynard. Thank you very much.
Ciao,
bye
ciao,
bye.
merci.
Ciao.